All right, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So meant to get more videos out by now than I've had, but honestly, with everything that's been going on and with how my province has been handling the pandemic response these last few weeks, my mental health has just not been in a state where I could kind of give the proper energy to doing any of these videos. So yeah, unfortunately, I don't know how long it's going to be like during Christmas break. Once that comes around, I'm going to try to catch up on my backlog once I have a little bit more time off. But last week, I honestly could not muster any energy to get around to doing any kind of videos. And even after taking an entire weekend off, like I was just so out of it. Like even after a full weekend of rest, I was still so tired, just drained all week. Mystic, it's good to see you. She says my state has been handling it horribly too. It's tiring. Like, yeah, honestly, I didn't think it affected me as badly until I actually took some time off to kind of recuperate and relax. And that was kind of when it hit me like a hammer blow, like how much it's been kind of detrimental to my mental health and stuff. So yeah, apologize for that, but honestly, I had to kind of prioritize that over the videos. But like I said, I'll try to make up for it during Christmas break and do a little bit of catch up. Now that I'm getting, because I know everyone's been kind of clamoring for me to get back to Battle Angel Alita, and I've been meaning to get back to it for a while, but those 3 volumes of content that I had to catch back up on and like kind of refresh my memory of on what happened before I dove back into it. And I just kind of kept pushing it off because things just came up one after the other. But this past week I finally got some time to go through with it. So ready to finally dive back in. And I think I'm going to try to make my goal by the end of December to finish off the rest of Alita as well. So we'll see how that goes. This said Iceland is basically eliminated probably because their head of state is a woman, lol. Yeah, honestly, like Iceland is such a great case of how to handle it well. I'm kind of jealous of how well they handle it, like giving everyone income, making sure they're taken care of, making sure the hospitals and everything were well stocked. Whereas here, our stupid ass conservative premier is kind of pandering to the lowest common denominator and accepting absolutely no responsibility for all the deaths and the over hospitalizations and everything. It's just, yeah, honestly, like I went out shopping today, just like making sure I don't have to step out again for the next few weeks because I don't want to go out anywhere. And I'm going to be working from home. So really hoping I get some of my energy back. With that said, and without further ado, let us dive into Battle Angel Alita, the Volume 4 Omnibus. Quick note before I start, I will have a channel update out at some point tonight, hopefully. I'll kind of cover my plans for what I'm going to cover this weekend and probably next weekend as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But without further ado, like I said, let's get into Battle Angel Alita, Omnibus 4 with Chapter 56, Flawed is Fate. Oh, Destiny. And you see Era Sputnik 591, and you see Space City Tafaris. Oh my god, what the hell? On the next page, you see this glowing, ball with some kind of person inside of it, with vines and everything kind of breaking into the ground. And you see a papoom, papoom, and you see a flick and a whoosh as people with flamethrowers come by and light the thing on fire. And you see a roar and a script, and an you see someone lurching out of it. Oh god, that's Dusty, isn't it? Stupid stomach in his face. And you see a Dusty clone is being burnt to death inside that little whatever the hell he was growing himself inside. And we see Nola Lafargue finally making a reappearance as she's one of the firefighters. And she hands it off to someone else and goes, "You can finish it off. Be sure nothing's left but ashes, or else it might come back to life. Don't let the fire spread." The person's like, "Okay." And you see, I just can't get used to it. Number 18, right? If only there were boys around to do this. Nola comments, "We've got to hang in there on our own. I just wonder about Alita, how she's doing." And you see a little, and we get a little recap as we have Alita went to space with the diabolical genius Desti Nova to solve this world's mysteries and to recover her friend. That was 3 months ago. But 2 weeks after they left, we found cocoon. That's the word I was looking for. But 2 weeks after they left, we found Nova's body forming inside a giant cocoon. Because instantly my brain went to like, all right, metapod. This is a metapod thing. Because I couldn't think of the word for cocoon, which kind of tells you how scrambled everything is up there. Found us on a giant cocoon. Nova was a loose cannon who threw Tefares into chaos, and he was indirectly responsible for my parents' death. So we decided to get rid of this Nova copy post-haste. But as soon as we burned it, a new cocoon was found with another Nova growing inside. There's no end to them. We formed our own theory about this process. When Nova dies, nanobots exit the body, which activates stereotomy, the airborne regeneration nanomachine. And you see, stereotomy is a word previously applied to stone cutting. Its new usage coined by Nola and the women. Its action is hypothetical since they have no way of observing it directly. And you see stereotomy forms the cocoon inside which Nova is recreated in his pre-death state. 6 days is what it takes for him to grow back. Glasses, clothes, brain, biochip, and all. A reborn Professor Nova. The way to neutralize serotomy, an outright solution hasn't been found yet. And you see, Nola, big news! A signal from the surface! Mom's on it right now! And you see Pam Mahon running in, and you see Nola go on the surface, and you see, we understand that Tefares is facing a difficult time right now, and you see Chaos with his smug-ass face on the screen as he goes, "Rest assured, we can provide support for your basic needs." And you see Marge comes chiming in and going, "I'm glad you're a kind man, Mr. Chaos. I feared surface dwellers would resent us." And you see current Teferian leader Marge Mayhem. And you see, "And to think, you're friends with Alita and Lou. Small world." And you see Nola and Lou and, is it Lou? No. And Nola and Pam coming up. And you see Nola going, "So that's him." It's like, "You don't have to be a cyborg to live down there." And you see one of the kids just commenting as they see Chaos. And Nola's like, "Oh, he looks kind of cool." And he goes, and Chaos goes, "Thank you for deciding to let down the firewall and open a channel. It was a bold move." And you see Marge looking over to her little communications person who kind of just shakes their head. Marge is like, "Odd, we don't recall doing that." Oh my god. And you see Pam's kind of sniffing the air. It's like, "Is that flan? I want one." It's like, "I knew it. Smelled something nice." I was like, "I knew I smelled something nice." And you see this little girl just eating it as she goes, "I got it from some guy wearing glasses." Oh my god, this fruitcake. And you see a yeah! And you have Chaos going, "Oh no, that vile laughter." Nola's like, "It can't be." And you see, "No need to thank me, eh, Chaos?" Is, "Yes, one at a time, guys." And you see Dusty kitted out in like a chef's hat and clothing, pushing this little food cart as he goes, "Flan stands for harmony. Would you like one too?" God, I hate this asshole. And Noel's like, "He's not due for 6 days." And you see her going, "Why in the world are you eating that?" And Pam's just like, "It's tasty." And you see anyone would find it odd to discover a record of 10 regenerations in a row. He goes, "I altered the stereotomy program a bit and let the decoy novas regenerate to see what would happen. I like the name you gave the process." And you see Nola lunging forward with a piece of pipe. She's like, "I'll kill you." He goes, "Not so fast. After all, flan is power." He goes, "If you kill me, Nova X, who knows what will happen to the kids and the others who ate my flan." And you see Marge just kind of going, "So where are the others?" And you have Nova going, "Ugh, what a dirty trick." And you see her just stopping the pipe right before bashing into his head as he goes, "Flan is a code of law. As long as you give me assurance of my survival, I will not harm or tyrannize you." And Chaos goes, "That man, don't trust him." Dusty goes, "You can't face the future if you're trapped in the past. Circumstantial evidence suggests Catheris and Ladder remain hostile towards us. If they try to retake control, will you have the power to fight back?" He goes, "Flan is fate. Right now, no one else on Earth can stand up to them." And you see Chaos like, ugh, as he can't deny what Dusty's saying. And Nola looks down, kind of looking lost in thought. Marge goes, "True. All right, we'll hear you out." And Dusty just grins as he goes, "We're moving into a new phase of history." To a free and united Tefaris. All for Flan and Flan for all. What a freaking honestly. We get to chapter 57, as you see Space City Catheri's onion frame. And we're getting to the good part of the 10th Zot, now in its 5th day. And you see Combat TV moderator Jack Garambo, as we have chapter 57, The Origin of This World. And he goes, "Let's take a look back at the matches thus far. Here's our brief recap. First, A block, round 1. Match 1, Space Angels versus Gun Trolls. Alita and the Space Angels won the match in a battle that will go down in the history of Zot. Match 2, Starship Cult versus Keats. Starship Cult wins. Third match, Heavy Road versus Wild Guns. Wild Guns wins it by a landslide. Fourth match, Metal Hearts versus Saturn Gaudis. Saturn Gaudis eke out a victory. B block round 1, first match, the Space Scavenger Squad versus Jamil Vovins. A huge win by the Scavengers. Match 2, Mean Machine versus Space Karate Forces. As you know, 2 of the Space Karate Forces were defeated by Alita in Leviathan 1. Since Toji's other 2 teammates didn't show up, a new team was hastily assembled. They were all world-class karate champs, but finesse matters little in a killing spree. And you see this giant globe that looks like Mysterio just tearing through all the forces. As you have Toji going, "Toji the captain had to beat all 5 by himself. What's left of the team barely advances to round 2. Oh, can't wait Toji comes back." You see third match, Gio Gigas versus Piramania. Or Pyramania? And Gio Gigas wins it. Fourth match, Anomaly versus the Venus Lucifers. Anomaly wins. A block round 2, first match, Space Angels versus Starship Cult. Angels take it when time runs out. Fire in the Stand forces a tournament suspension. All of the subsequent matches are held the next day. Guess we were really burning. You have martial arts scholar H. Hopper. And you see second match, Wild Guns versus Saturn Gaudis. The Gaudis give up and the Wild Guns win. B block round 2, match 1, the Space Scavenger Squad versus Karate Forces. Out of alternates, Toji fights alone, pulverizing Scavenzine, the transforming giant robot. Space Karate Forces move to round 3. You see second match, Gio Gigas versus Anomaly. The entire arena explodes, Anomaly survives. And now the quarterfinals in B block round 3, first match, Space Angels versus Wild Guns. The Wild Guns have thus far sniped their enemies with single shots, and the whole team is intact. Meanwhile, the Space Angels camp, Elf and Swolf, have lost their will to fight. And you see a pre-recorded, they go, "Yuck, no!" As you see that they've been fixed, albeit very badly. You have Just Like Me! And you have Alita's been gone 3 days and only Zex is left. Is it over for the Space Angels? Everyone thought so, but look at this! And you see Zex's sword impaled on one of the gunners. And you see all the other ones have been taken out with a bunch of shots as well. As you see the last 2 with Zex just standing over him, this fierce grin on his face. As he goes, "If my arm was still a cannon, we could have played a different game." And you see Space Angels core member Zex. And he goes, "But the only gun I've got is your teammates." And you see Wild Guns Captain Gilroy. He goes, "Oh, no problem. Zot's ammo limit makes it a sound strategy to take and use enemy firearms." You have Gilroy going, "You've inflicted major casualties on my team, but now it's checkmate. You didn't count how many rounds that rifle shot, did you?" Zex is like, "Damn, it's got me there." And Gilroy goes, Well, you gave it your best. It's like, it's like, am I out of ammo? Or is he bluffing? He's like, I've got 524 shots left, barely enough to get through the semi and the finals, which leads me to a proposal. Let's make a deal. And Zex is like, a deal? And Gilroy goes, I don't want to waste a single shot, so drop the gun and I won't shoot. It's like, but don't make a move. No matter how tough your body is built, 10 armor piercing bullets into your pupil will blow your head off. And I can pull the trigger faster than you can blink. And Zex is like, I've got an even better idea. A great one if I say so myself. And he's like, oh ho, let's hear it. And Zex goes, trade my gun with yours. I'll empty every single bullet into your brain. Oh, I miss my crazy son. Oh, I should say I miss my impulsive son. You have ha ha, so negotiations have fallen apart, eh? And Zex is like, and he's like, kablam! As they both exchange shots, and you see that Zex dodges aside at the last minute as the bullet just grazes. And you have Mystic going, Dusty is such a fascinating dipshit. Like, I hate his guts for everything he's done, but he's such an oddball that I can't help but just kind of be amused and like him. John goes, awesome that you're doing Alita again. I'll try to comment later. Can't really watch live reliably. Not a problem at all. I'm glad everyone seems to be happy that I'm back to Alita again. I'm going to do my best to try to finish it up in December. And yeah, you can always enjoy the stream after it's done. So we pick up where we left off, with Zex just basically driving the gun straight into Gilroy's head. As Jeff, here you go, have your gun back. Jeff and the Space Angels continue to the semifinals. Zex, like Toji, manages to beat all 5 by himself. And you see back in Space City Catheres, hey, you have Malachi, Cyberspace, Camelot. You have Alita finally waking up, looking all Matrixy in her new outfit. And you see, oh God, why am I forgetting her name? God, why is my brain so dead right now? Come on, I know who it is. I'm thinking of her former name, Cerula. I don't know why I was thinking about her old name for some reason. It just would not exit my brain. You see Cerula Sangui in holograph form. I was like, a ghost! And she's like, is that all you can say? It's like, I'm a virtual being simulated by Merlin. You may think of me as a 99% proxy for Vilma, or Cerula, if you will. So did you see the origins of this world? Alita's like, I did. What a heartbreaking memory. The scrapyard, Tefares, and Catheres were built by sadistic bastards just to make us suffer. I thought finding this bastard and punching him out would solve everything somehow. But I was wrong. It wasn't that simple. Not at all. Tefares and Catheres, even Malachi, reflect the wishes and hopes of the people who made them. Cerula's like, yes, even if history merely repeats old follies, the joys and sorrows of those who lived through each time period are real. As the keeper of Fata Morgana, I've watched the lives and deaths of many over the years, and I've searched for one worthy enough to entrust with the Fata Morgana. This sticks like Cerula's faces are awesome. It's like, oh, I love her so much. If I had to pick like 2 faves from Last Order, it's Zex and Cerula are kind of like top 2 fave characters I love in this series. And you see going as Alita's looking, you see Tell Me. He's like, why Alita's Pingwu also comes in. And Alita's like, cause I'm cute. Cerula's like, no. Alita's like, cause I'm tough. It's like, not at all. And Cerula's like, simply put, you don't fit in. That's why you were chosen. The only one who's trustworthy is an outsider. Alita's like, that's a good thing? And Ping's like, so, she's an awkward misfit? And you have Dusty chiming in with the portable Nova as he goes, Alita holds on to her own point of view. That's where she saw promise. Accommodating too quickly doesn't help one explore new possibilities. It implies an evolutionary dead end, a mark of decline. Cerula goes, It's pointless to try to explain with logic. I trust my intuition and the judgment of my sword. And so she hands her the little crystal and goes, the future of humanity is in your hands. And she kind of puts her head down so she's touching foreheads with Alita. And she goes, when you think it time, execute the last order. And you see Alita kind of just looking at the crystal and like crossing her arms, looking all thoughtful. And then she goes, no. And you see Ping going, no, you don't want it, I'll take it. And Des says, no, me. You see Alita just cyber punching them when she goes, listen first. Cerula, I see how incredible you are, but you misjudge me. I can be invincible within my limited reach, but that's also all I can take responsibility for. I just want to save my friend. The future of humanity is too much for me. So I'll just hold on to this until I can return it to you. And Susie Cerula kind of smiling, and the hologram starts fading away, and she goes, so that's how you live your life. Perhaps Arthur and I failed because we tried to shoulder too much responsibility. Keep Fata Morgana safe. Go, your friend is waiting. And you see that is as far as you go. Oh my god. As you see Embody coming in. And we get to chapter 58, Don't Be a Hero. And you see outside, I assume this is Ping from earlier days, as he goes, even I used to have lofty ideals in those days. Yep, I honestly believed I could change the world. When I was 21, I put Methuselization data I stole from a Venusian lab on the interplanetary net. I was proud when the terraforming wars ended. I imagined I had a hand in it. I used to believe everything in the world was going in the right direction, that all the evil and misfortune would disappear along with war. So Captain Embody was my hero, even though we lived such different lives. The way you risked your life, it was admirable. But the dream ended, leaving only disillusionment. My dead pal used to say, immortality is a manga artist without deadlines. Without deadlines, the manga artist will never get the job done. In the same way, we hid from the inconvenient truths and now we're paying for it. God, that is honestly such a great comparison, even though it's so bad. And you see, the world had become an awful place, with my old hero the worst final boss of them all. I got overzealous because of a woman, and crushing defeat was the result. I had 100 years to reflect on Roboasil, and the sad truth I found was, there's nothing else I want to do. To hell with the world. Humans can die out for all I care. I'm some kind of loser, scum to the bone. I was like, but. And you see Zack, pop, as you see this expanding sphere coming out, and holding back Embodies little fingers. And he goes, I am worthy of being the heir to Fata Morgana. Give it to me. And you see Aga Embody Trinidad. And Alita's like, you found us, now what, Ping? And you see Ping Woo Weasel as he goes, relax, this is within likely parameters. It's like, are you good to go, Kale? It's like, just say the word, boss. It's like, all right, deploy combat avatar Gallied. And you see him just morph in this giant robot suit around himself. So you have a room, boom, 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 boom. And he goes, I'll hold him back. Prof, you got to lead up per the plan. And he goes, Roger. And Alita's like, Ping, don't be a hero. Kind of gives her a thumbs up as Alita leaves. And Embody goes, so, you're the weasel. Killing you here will make it easy to take the Fata Morgana from them. And he's like, hey, don't presume you'll get your way all the time. And you see Alita kind of waking up with a jolt as she's back in her body again. She's come back. You see Katink as the little crystal pops out with the Fata Morgana. And you see Destiny going, Alita, do you hear me? It's like, Nova. And he goes, I'll unlock the 35 partitions that lead to the incubator. Let's hurry. She's like, okay, but will Ping be all right? He's the only one in the solar system who can wage a real-time... And you see Destiny going, he's the only one in the solar system who can wage a real-time cyber battle with Trinidad. We'll have to trust him. And you see Alita kind of leaping in further. But she goes, soon, Lou. I'm going to save you. You see back in the cyberspace, and Body's just kind of looking down on Ping as he goes, Weasel, I have one thing to ask before I crush you like a flea. How much do you know about the true nature of Malachi? And Ping goes, Malachi is the central brain that manages the orbital ring system. It began as a future predicting quantum brain simulator, but it's far more than that now. Malachi is a grid computing system composed of human brains that uses the incubator as a quantum router with a quantum server at its core. That's what Malachi has grown up to be. And you see, grid computing is a network of dispersed computers linked to create one virtual supercomputer. And Body goes, yes, the brain biochips and the incubator were part of the research on this quantum brain grid. But in the process, we discovered that living brains exchange data at the molecular level. Second, Mr. Commandant Body's such a scumbag. I honestly don't know if by the end of this I'm going to hate Destiny more or I'm going to hate Embody more, but we'll see. But I really do not like him. Yeah, by quantum teleportation, long ago this was valuably described as the collective unconscious. Now we're able to make use of this limitless resource, Malachi. Let me say that again. By quantum teleportation, long ago this was vaguely described as the collective unconscious. Now we're able to make use of this limitless resource. Malachi is the soul of all mankind. Thus, an act of terrorism on Malachi is treason against the entire human race. And you see, quantum teleportation is transferring a quantum state between two particles in an entangled state. This information transfer, called EPR channeling, occurs at superluminal speed. And you see Weasel just going, screw that. It's all in how you interpret things, isn't it? Here you are, the guy who's trying to make reality convenient for you by abusing controlling people's thoughts and manipulating Malachi's predictions. And you see, Unanimous is the cerebral public safety system required of citizens in the Earth Orbital Federation. It makes people unconsciously abide the law by installing the nanomachine Peacemaker in their brain. See Battle Angel Lily, The Last Order, Chapter 15. And Body goes, prediction manipulation is necessary to prevent the horrors of war. If you know all this, that's all the more reason I cannot let you live. And you see Weasel giving him the fingers. He goes, uh-oh, sorry to cut your speech short. And you see a burrs, And you see a salt. And you see all these cues just coming in, encasing him Body and electrocuting him. And you see Weasel going, heh, even you can't break out of that. It's a triple-layer quantum-coated ice cube. And you see, gah, and a shoom. It kind of shrinks into a little cube. And with a zoom, and Weasel's like, boss, we irreversibly compressed Trinidad in 3 bites. We did it. Weasel's like, no, wait, that was too easy. It's like, it was a decoy. It's like, Kale, put up partitions. And you see, too slow. As Pink tries to put up his hand for defense, and Embody kind of just backhands through it. And he goes, only one may define reality. And that is I, Trinidad. And he goes, Eclipse. And you see his black hole behind him. As you see Ping's kind of cyber form being eaten away. And you see, once begun, the cyber decay will only cease when mortal eclipse reaches your brain. You see Kale going, boss, this is it for me. And you see a blam as he explodes. And he goes, Kale! And Embody's like, mourn your foolish defiance and die. And Ping's like, it's not over yet. Trigger right brachial blast bolts. As you go, it's like, and you see a splam and a gah! As Ping's arm kind of just gets shot off and it falls to the ground with a flop. And you see, god damn. See, in the virtual cyberspace, the decay's kind of stopped at the upper ends of Ping's arm. And Body goes, you cut off your arm as if it were fused to inhibit my mortal eclipse attack. So this is how the Weasel survived 100 years ago. You see Ping just kind of grimacing as he goes, the pain. I was like, damn it. But this is still within anticipated parameters. And you see Embody trying again as he goes, soon you will beg for your life. As he does his eclipse, and Ping shoots out a hand and goes, rip! And you see a slam just crunching into Embody's face. And he goes, "Rip, a pirated copy of my attack data." And I'm like, "Oh." You see the decay starting to eat at Body's face. As you see one of Ping's legs is starting to get eaten up as well. Ping goes, "Better upgrade the copy protection in your attack, huh?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Want to play a game, chicken, and see who dies first?" And you see Body going, "Sorry, but I don't intend to play along. This code won't work on me." And he takes his hand away. You see he's already healed again. Ping's like, "Pfft, no fun." It's like, "Activate left thigh blast bolt." And you see a splurk as he chops off his left leg uh, up by the past his knee. He's gah! It's like, "I fought with countless scum." And you see Body going, "But you believe in nothing. What compels you to keep this up?" And you see Ping going, "Sure, I'm a loser, but I'm not alone. And maybe those guys will be able to let some air into this screwed up world." And you see Alita finally arriving at the incubator. And she goes, "Lou!" And you see a Shah. As you see Alita's got a cyber form going and ending up in a beach inside the incubator where Lou's waiting. She goes, "Who are you?" And the body goes, "Some air? That's what you risk your life for? A life eternal, wasted on pointless uncertainties." Ping goes, "You never understand, even in 1,000 years. Just like you'd never understand the hopes of an insect with a life cycle of a single day. Alita has reached the incubator. My job here is done, but I won't die alone." And you see him body just sending a blast through his chest as he disintegrates him. And you have a shroom. And you have, "I'll compress us into one last archive." See, rah, rah. As you see back in the little viewing area, and Body's kind of just casually drinking as these troops are waiting orders. And they go, "Chief, can we go in?" He goes, "Permission granted." So he's like, "Damn, Kishiro is a damn good artist. Honestly, like, so much of this artwork has been blowing me away. I wish I had the expertise to talk about it more impactfully, but all I can say is it's damn good." You see all the forces going in. I see a slam, and they go into the little alcove where Ping is, and you see a spray of blood from where all his limbs have torn off. And you see a pish, pish, pish as you see the last of Ping starting to fade away. And Body goes, "Farewell to you, Weasel, last of the Resistance." So we get to chapter 59, Don't You Play Dumb. As the troops are going in, you see all these lasers popping out and start slicing their hands off. And you see a bam! As Elf and Swolf have shown up. And Elf is wearing these sunglasses to hide their ridiculous little upgrade they got. And Zwolf's like, "Phew, that was wicked close. It looks like some stray shots got through." It's like, "You alive in there?" They're tapping on the thing where Ping is. Destiny's like, "Thank goodness. When trouble strikes, call in the tune." And he's a row or a skirk. As X comes rushing in, goes, "Damn it all. The rabbits beat me to it." Jeff, "Out of the shop so soon?" And Zex is like, "Shut up. You know you should call me first." It's like, "Who are these guys anyway?" You see a Ping. As Rem comes running in. It's like, it's like, "Who is it?" It's like, "Good timing." You see Desti going, "She's Ping's ex. I rang her via Martin, the owner of the ship, Rem Ray." And Rem's like, "Not another of your insane stunts." She disconnects him from the unit, plants a kiss on his head, and goes, "You fool." It's like, "I'll take the patient to my medical vessel and treat him there. Also, I don't know what monkey business he's been getting himself into, but finish what you've started. Got it?" And Zex is like, "Leave it to me. It's like, although I don't know a thing about it." And Desti goes, "We leave Ping in your hands." And you see back in the cyberspace, Trinidad's trying to hack into the system as he goes, "Huh? Can't get in. Error, access denied?" It's like, "What the? Camelot is being rolled back to its pre-Camelot state? The optimization program Holy Grail must have been activated. And all because they used the Fata Morgana. I'll waste hours, but I'll have to jack out and wait for the system to stabilize. A fiendishly clever move, but useless in the end, for I already have my ace in the hole." And you see back in the real world, it's like, Mr. Embody, do something. So what's wrong, Chairman? And you see a yeek! And a skirt as a skull comes flying into the force field and kind of disintegrates. And Embody's like, what's going on? And you have Zex calling up Embody's troops and going, don't play dumb. Aren't these your crack troops, Embody? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And you see Jack Garambo here with a breaking report on the assault on the Space Angels base ship. The great Zex. It would be quite a scandal if the Tourney board were to meddle with the team. Do you have proof? And Zex goes, it's obvious they don't want us to win. So, but what about the Jovian team? They're next. It's like, sue him, all lies. And Embody's like, well, look into it, of course, so please, kindly leave. And Zex is like, what do you take us for? And you see in the next moment, a bunch of troops surround Zex with guns, and they also get Garambo as well. He's like, eek! We've suddenly been surrounded by New Order stealth soldiers. And Embody goes, go back to your base ship, prepare for the semifinals. We're all waiting to see how your team of unknowns does against the seeded teams. And Garambo's like, he's right. You're the most popular in the Zot. If you cause a scene and get kicked out, the female fans of the solar system will all cry. And Zex is like, who cares? I'm sick and tired of this farce. Hey, so what would happen if I run amok here, huh? And Embody's like, words mean nothing when spoken by a stray dog. And you see, cargo airlock number 49 is opening. Check it out. You have a will do. And you see one of the administrators going in. He's like, huh? He's like, vroom, vroom. Someone's revving an engine. What the heck? It's like, Mr. Embody, an unidentified vehicle is heading your way at high speed. He's like, hey, stop there, or we'll shoot. You see someone just barreling through all the stealth soldiers and coming to stop with a scree. And you have a, hey, looks like my kind of party. He's like, let me join you. And the stealth soldiers all just point their guns. And Embody's like, wait, don't shoot. He's my guest. It's like, you're looking well, but maybe you've aged a bit. And Embody goes, did you have to injure 23 men on your way in? I'll let it slide if you get this mess under control. And the mysterious person takes off their helmet and goes, this kid, huh? And Zex is like, whoa, that guy, he's... You have your second-rate Zot bores me. And you see this weird dreadlock-looking mofo who goes, but watching this kid on TV got me all riled up. And you see Zex just kind of vibrating with energy. He's like big, strong. As you see the newest entry, Mr. Commented, love the Chibi Zex is tucked away in this armor. I love Chibi Zex so much. Getting excited. Ooh, and Toji's like, at last, he's come back to us. And you see the other mechanics that work on Zex, whose name I cannot remember for the life of me. It's like, he's come after all. The master martial artist of legend. And you have the new guy going, my name is Zeka. Kid, I'll see how good you are. So excited. Now, chapter 60, growing at supersonic speed. He goes, hey, kid, compound eyes, the best. No blind spots, high strength, and nobody can tell what you're thinking. And you see Garambo going, I've just been given an update. The interloper known as Zeka is a world-renowned, infamous, arrogant master of karate. Zeka belongs to no one, but to liven things up, he's registered as an original member of Toadi's Space Karate Forces. And Zex goes, if you want to test me, you'll have to answer the usual question. What's the essential quality of a true warrior? Zeka's like, let me see. A true warrior is a paragon of manhood. And the ideal of any man is destruction. Zex is like, huh? It's like, kill the guys you don't like, race all over the place on a huge bike, have a hot babe to yourself. Put simply, environmental destruction. A real man creates nothing. Not one blade of grass grows where he has walked. So the ultimate goal of a true warrior can only be one thing. Planetary destruction. You see just this little icon of Zeka just slicing a planet in half. God. You have Zach's freaking out, being like, on such a grand scale? Or did he just dodge the question? And Garambo's like, what an insane syllogism. Is he bonkers? Or eccentric ideas, aspects of Zeka's prowess? And you have two of the stealth soldiers going, idiot. It's like, yeah. And you have the chairman going, what is he saying? Sounds like a terrorist. And then Body goes, Zeka accepts no authority but his own. He's a hardcore anarchist. Don't make an enemy of him. And you see Zek's freaking out. I turn to him like, I was like, oh no. I was about to respect him for a minute there. Something just came over me. And Zeka's like, hey, you okay, kid? And Zex is like, you're making stuff up to take advantage of my ignorance. Nobody could destroy an entire planet all by himself. Stop yanking my chain, bozo. And you see a wham! As Zex just lays in with his arm and just lays strikes at Zeka. And you see just this vibrating point of vibration pointing off. And you have a yikes as one of the stealth soldiers just gets cut in half as his armor comes flying off. And you see Zeka just kind of stopping, having stopped Zex's fist with his hand, and he crunches down on it and he goes, don't be in such a hurry, kid. Yeah, Mystic commenting, I love that it's a trans man versus walking toxic masculinity. Kishiro Sensei has to have done this on purpose. Absolutely, and I actually am going to try to address thoughts regarding that at the end once I'm done the stream. Because that's the thing that kind of struck me on rereading these past few volumes, and I don't know if this is deliberate or just kind of like was just born out of what the story required. But it's kind of, I'm going to do a little digression before I dive back in. But I found it interesting how all of the characters in Last Order have been, like, most of the main villainous characters have been men who kind of let their own arrogance and insecurities kind of lead everyone else down, the kind of the path of destruction. And it's been interesting to see how all of them have been convinced that, they're doing the right thing and that they know what's best for everyone. And universally, all of them, as soon as they face kind of their first big crisis, kind of immediately shatter and aren't able to kind of process the tragedy in a healthy way, and they kind of start lashing out. Because we see that with, I can't remember their names, but we see that with Destiny's little pupil at the start, where when he found out the truth, he kind of just went, put himself into the robot and kind of just went on a rampage. You see that with Embody as well. It's kind of been like, after he lost his love, he's just been like, I know what's best for everyone, and I'm the one that will solve all the problems. We see it with Arthur and the whole generation of men and Cerula's backstory as well. We saw that with Byron as well, where, he thought that he knew the ultimate answers or the right answers to everything. So I'll be kind of curious, I think, once I've done the entire series with Last Order, to see how much of that is deliberate. But I'll kind of talk about that at the end, because it's a good contrast to Alita, who in this volume has kind of admitted that she doesn't know everything, or she doesn't have the answers to everything that people are looking for, and she only kind of knows herself. So it's a good kind of contrast between those two. So it'll be interesting to see how much further that goes. But we see Zex going, if he stopped my punch before it even reached top speed, then that sonic boom came from his block. How do I stand up to this guy? And Zeka goes, so there haven't been any true warriors yet. Who cares about the past? It's only an ideal if you seek the impossible. I see him kind of just jerking Zex's hand around, and he kind of clamps it together. And he goes, are they shaking hands? Zeka goes, we'd be a mighty nuisance if we duked it out here. He goes, ever hear of thumb wrestling? You win by holding the other guy's thumb down for 10 seconds. And Zex is like, say what? And you see Gwurm as they're doing the thing, and you see Zex go like, ugh, and he's trying to support his hand. As Zeka just kind of uses the force to bend Zex down to one knee. Zex is like, what power? Like a press. And Zeka goes, here's a useful tidbit. My body's the same as yours, one of the greatest cyborg units in the universe, the Physeroid body. And Zex is like, what? And he goes, you've locked the latest model, so you should have an edge. You know why you getting outstripped in speed and power? Goes, because I've reached supersonic speed while motionless. He goes, once you figure out what that means, you'll be able to handle your Physeroid body a little better. And Zex is like still struggling against, and he goes, spare me the riddle. I don't want to hear your bull. He manages to force himself up. Zeka's like, you're not close to making full use of your body, but you've got power. He just grabs him and flings Zex behind him. And Zex is just barely able to stop and puts his foot down before his face gets slammed into the floor with a whoosh. And he kind of strikes back with his foot. And Zeka just kind of casually dodges. Goes, reaction time ain't so bad either. And he steps forward as Zex slams his foot down. And he goes, 10, 1,000. It's like, huh? It's like, I won. And you see him having pressed Zex's thumb down. And he goes, don't forget to watch your thumb. Zex is like, I don't believe it. He's like, don't screw with me. And Zex punches his other fist forward. And Zeka lets go for a second as he lets the thumb go. And you see Zex kind of trying to land a kick on him again. As Zeka just dodges out of the way again casually. And you see Zex just kind of bouncing around trying to kick him, and Zeka just keeps casually dodging without letting go. Jeff, whoa! Jeff, the great Zex's kick is breathtaking up close. But why isn't Zex hitting Zeka when he's not even moving out of the way? And you see Zex going, the grip of his hand on mine. It's like a fulcrum. He's using it to neutralize my attack, so how about this? And you see Zex using his other hand to grab onto Zeka's elbow. And he goes, Doppeltis, like hurts a hay on Zex style. And Zeka's unimpressed is like, what's with the petty tricks? And see a vibration coming up, Zex's armor just blows off his body with a pop. And you see he sent the shockwave back with one arm. And Zeka's like, I told you not to forget. It's like 10, 1,000. I win again as he presses down on Zex's thumb again. And this time he lets go as Zex drops to one knee. It's like, I'm outmatched. I can't believe how he's toying with me. And Zeka goes, your energy is admirable, but you'll never hit the higher echelons at this rate. It's like, kid, how old are you? And Zex is like, 2. There's a pause for a minute. Zex is like, he's like, are you kidding me? And Zex is like, stop laughing at me. I'm a combat android. And you see 1 year and 5 months old. Should I say I'm 20 to seem normal? And Zeka goes, your background doesn't matter. To get more power, I put my memory into an artificial brain. If what you say is true, kid, you're growing at supersonic speed. You'd be able to put up a good fight now with that old gun troll woman from round 1. How about this? If you can force me to get even a little serious, I'll let you have a match with me later. And he kind of puts out his hand again. And Zex is like, a duel? He's like, it's like, not with Alita. With me? He's like, Alita? It's like, oh, the shrimp who showed up for a little while in round 1? It's like, I don't care about anyone with a bust less than a B cup. Oh, my God. This guy's such a walking stereotype. Zex is like, It's like, did he just say that? Blowing off Alita with such disdain? It's like, now I have to take you on. Zex is just keeps getting better and better, and you see them again kind of gripping their fingers. You have Goom was like, Zot special episode, the greatest thumb wrestling match in the universe, round 3. And you see, and this time they're just playing with their thumbs, they're bouncing it back and forth. You have a pip pap pap pip pap. It's like thumb wrestling at the speed of sound. It's like, oh no, it's like, gah! And you see the shockwave from the explosion of their thumbs just hitting is starting to slice the special unit suits apart. Like, shockwaves, like, it's not safe here. It's like, Zeka catches the great Zex in a hold. And Zex is like, oh no, you don't. I won't let you count off. And you see Gyro Ball as he sends like this plasma disruptor straight towards Zeka. Oh my god. And you see Zeka just opening his mouth, Trump. He goes, it's like, plasma. How I love it. He goes, Zex like he ate it. And you see 9-1000 as Zex then flips around. Ooh, and gets slammed into the floor. You have 10-1000. And you see Garamba going, 2 years old, the great Zex beaten again. And Zeka's like, am I giving you too much credit? Is that all you got? Oh, I love this. You have Mr. commenting to me, that kind of hints that Zex could become stronger than Alita. Oh, I'm really hoping so. I honestly would love to see Zex by the end just like overpowering Alita. Like, because every time we get a story about like, what it means to be a warrior, you kind of have those philosophical arguments. I really, really love those kinds of stories. I'm kind of hoping we get some kind of thing with Zex for that, but we'll have to wait and see. You see what Zex got slammed to the ground. He goes, by the way, you sure have a nice bike. And Zeka's like, what's this cord doing here? And you see the cord from Chibi Zex just going towards the bike, where Chibi Zex is just scribbled all over his bike with Zeka as a kick-ass, like idiot, poo, moron, scum. You see Garamba going, Mini Zex has drawn graffiti all over the bike. And Zeka's like, you stupid brat! And you see him just landing a furious blow to Zex below him. And you see this giant crater from the impact. He's like, it's like, you got me, kid. It's like, don't let your rival lay down the rules. It's like, you alive down there? It's like a key point of any martial art. It's like, you're a full-fledged man in terms of combat smarts. See you in the finals. You see Zex going, first time I've ever been called smart. And you have chapter 61, unique in the world. So we're coming up on an hour, so we'll see where this chapter ends, and I might cut it off after this one, but we'll see where it goes. And you see Debunker Theories, incubator section, and you see Alita's real body with tears kind of streaming out of her eyes. And she goes, Lou, at last, I found her. Like, it's been so long. It's like, it's true, she doesn't recognize me, but at least she's alive and well. And Dusty's like, we can't relax yet. We're only midway into this rescue. Alita's like, yeah. And Dusty's like, I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is Ping was overcome by Trinidad. He's like, is he dead? It's like, no, but he might as well be. His brain's fried. It's hopeless. He stalled Trinidad. We managed to reach the incubator thanks to him. We should be quite grateful. Alita goes, to be honest, I took him for the type to cut and run in a pinch. He was a warped fellow, but in the end, he too was a warrior. Yeah, the good news is, until Camelot is done optimizing, we don't need to worry about a Trinidad cyber attack. So let's get Lou now. Alita's like, yes. Jeff, hold it. It's like this voice. It's like, now what? It's like the control system for the incubator has gone down. Jeff, I will not allow you to touch the incubator without permission from me. Jeff, who is that? Jeff, yeah, it is I. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jeff Fronova. Oh my god, looking even more ridiculous. He goes, I went up the orbital elevator with Alita and was captured by Mr. Embody. Since other versions of me have since come into existence, I shall call myself Supernova. It's ridiculous, fruitcake. Alita's like, so you escaped after all. He's like, Alita, you're shockingly slow to catch on. And you see 4 days ago, you have Trinidad going, can you hear me, Professor Nova? It's a new day. Would you care to work for me as my assistant? And you see Trinidad kind of trying to hack into his biochip. As Dusty goes, research under a patron with the highest authority? Not a bad deal. But you prefer order, and I study chaos. Would you not be oil to my water? And Embody goes, some jobs complement each other precisely because they're polar opposites. Wouldn't you agree? And Lee's like, so, you're a turncoat? It's like, you traitor! And he goes, that's slander, my dear. I always pick the sensible choice for my research. Yeah! Desi's like, oh no, the final taboo, and you broke it. He goes, you know me too well. God. And you see under his fro, he goes, my skull is now equipped with 2 brain biochips, each running at full capacity. So via space technology, I've also acquired a hacking ability similar to Mr. Embody's. Sacre diem. And you have to cut and separate the deity. A heresy. He goes, now I can even fight Alita one-on-one and win. It's like, yeah! Alita's like, care to try me? And it's just like multiple novas. My God, the horror. Like, can you imagine having to deal with multiple novas? Like, the most annoying thing in existence. And Supernova's like, yeah, I'd advise against it. Mr. Embody gave me carte blanche over the incubator. If I want, I can kill all 20,000 brains inside. And you have Destiny going, hardly a scientific statement. The dual brain is clearly affecting your personality. We'll have to call in allies of our own. And Supernova's like, allies? With the weasel out of commission, who would ally themselves with you? And you see the little, like, disturbance behind Alita as you have. That's where I come in. You have what? You have, hello from the land of Flan. I'm Nova X at Tefares. Alita's like, the 3 Novas is the end of the world. And Supernova's like, Camelot is still optimizing. How did you get access from Tefares? And you have, I'm going to call them Computer Nova, Flan Nova, and Supernova just so I don't confuse myself. So Computer Nova goes, the Fata Morgana. I used it to secure a direct channel with Tefares. And Flan Nova goes, Flan is fate. After consulting with Portable Nova, I guess Portable Nova works better. Portable Nova just a few minutes ago, I've decided to support Alita. It's like 3 against 1. It's like, fine. Then to change the mood a bit, I'll give you some vital data points. Mr. Embody's preparing to present an agenda item in the 1366 ladder assembly to be held immediately after the Zot. His plan would liquidate Tefares and the surface, which have been off limits for years now. And you see, off limits, the manufacture of antimatter and interstellar fuel was one cause of the terraforming wars. Tefares was built as an interstellar ship simulator, and consequently contact was postponed to avoid arousing distrust of other countries. And you see the Tefares redevelopment bill. Surface suppression squads are standing by on board the New Order fleet assembled in orbit to provide security for the Zot. And he's like, what do you mean, surface suppression squads? And Supernova goes, the official ladder view is that there are no survivors on the surface of Tefares. So, for consistency's sake, the people in Tefares and Scrapyard must be purged or used inside the incubator. Well, he's like, oh no, Nola, Pam, Koyomi, Chaos. Even if I manage to rescue Lou, she won't have a home to go back to. What should I do? And Portable Nova goes, what's there to consider? Such a simple way to get around this problem. And Flan Nova's like, yes, I expect great things from your team. That's why I'm here to help. And Alita's like, oh yeah. It's like the top team will be named Commonwealth. And Alita goes, independence for Tefares and the surface. For that, I will win the Zot. And you see Alita going, I feel like I can finally see what I've been seeking. Something more than becoming strong. And you see Supernova going, this is more like it. And Alita goes, how many sacrifices do you think I've made to rescue Lou? How much suffering have I endured? If you get in my way, I'll do what I'm best at. I'll punch you out and take Lou. And you see Supernova going, rough stuff again. When a gentlemanly trade would suffice. What I want is the brain inside the F box. Lou's brain. Will you swap for it? And Lee's like, what? That was my plan all along. Doesn't bother me a bit. So easy. She goes to the box and takes the brain out. And Flaw Nova's like, oh no! So that was your plan. And Portable Nova's like, whose brain is in the F box? And Supernova's like, yes, whose brain indeed? Yeah! It won't be a fair trade if I hold my tongue. So I'll tell you. He goes, that is Alita's brain. And Alita's like, what? It's like, no, wait. It's like, I mean, I'm right here. And he's like, yes, the biochip in your skull is. Just like me and the R series. Oh my god. And you see Alita's kind of becoming frozen as she thinks back to, I saw what's in your skull, Alita. And you have whether the brain is organic or a biochip. It's like just a replica. You're built a little differently from the other androids. This F box contains the most precious substance in the world. Thought you were a RoboCat. Well, he's like, no, it's a lie. Supernova's like, hey, what's wrong? Your brain for lose. Not a bad deal at all. And Flaw Nova's like, what Supernova says is true. I revived after Mr. Roscoe killed me, then made some adjustments before Alita awakened, on a whim. Portable Nova's like, I see, I had a hunch, but... And we see Alita seems to be kind of disassociating a little bit. So you have to think, Alita's brain, with its potent karmic possibilities inserted into the incubator. Why, it's me at my most genius! It's like, oh, go on. It's like, and how Alita responds to this revelation will be captivating. God, this is just the weirdest picture is these three Novas just kind of, self-jerking off each other is just... Alita's like, they're evil after all. I was a fool to think Nova could ever be an ally. And you see the specter of pain rising up behind her as he goes, didn't I warn you? It's like, God, pain. So that the truth would forever change you, that you would have no home left. And you see Alita going, caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. Oh. And he's here going, this twisted feeling in my gut. An imitation? It's like, no, it must be real. It's like, I'm not a robot. Even though my brain is a biochip and my body is a machine, I am human. Portanova goes, you see, she said it. Superboy's like, my, so I can take those words to mean our trade is on? Well, he's like, huh, as she nods. And you see Supernova going, eject, all right then, eject Lou's brain and swap out. And we see Lou's brain coming out with a flop, and it comes into this little kind of bulbous carrier. And it goes, yeah, Alita's brain, unique in all the world. I am honored to accept it. Yeah, the F box now holds Lou's brain. It's like, take care. See it coming in and clunk as it closes again. And Alita's like, this was right, the right thing to do. You see pain kind of looming behind her going, self-deception, sophistry, whitewash. Would you give up so easily the only flesh and blood you have? And you see Alita kind of going, that's a bond. The last common thread with everyone you love. And you see her kind of shattering as she starts tearing up. He goes, no, give it back. Give me back my brain. Supernova's like, let's not be pitiful. I have no need for you now that I have your brain. It's like, you have to dodge Nova X's blocks. Like, oh no! And he sees a zap as Lita gets captured in this thing. And Nova goes, the invincible warrior broken at last. Don't worry, your death will change little. After all, your brain is still alive. Already one more chapter. All right, one more chapter, I think, and then I'm going to stop it there. Because we have darkness at absolute zero. We have a ploop and a wham. As Alita kind of gets jolted out of her armor and slams back down, and you see her starting to disintegrate. It's like, yeah, look, the Imagino's body is decaying, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. It was my, now didn't that feel good? And Portanova goes, is she dead? And the Flan Nova goes, no, the block had an 80% success rate. And Supernova goes, you saw it. Just 1/5 of the power was enough to disintegrate Alita's Imaginos body. And that phenomenon is synced to the dismantling of the self-conscious. With her ego shattered, there's no chance of resurrection. What are you doing, Dudu? And you have, now then, my myriad other selves, what will you do? If you join me, we could form a space academy of karmic research. Portanova goes, we've already gone our own ways. We must conduct karmic studies, each from his own vantage point. And Supernova goes, if that's the case, it's like, Dium Saka! And uses his powers to destroy Portanova's brain biochip. And he turns around, and you see a fair as Flan Nova kind of blips out. And you see Supernova going, the Nova from Tefares gave me the slip. Not that it matters. This karmic tide cannot be turned. In a few days, the fate of Tefares and the surface will be decided. See, as you see a flicking Flan Nova having ripped out all the cables right before the attack hit. And he goes, Flan is for survival. I never realized how thrilling it would be to have me as an enemy. He goes, well, this is quite a fix we're in. I didn't expect Alita to be beaten so easily. And you have little author now going, ignoring how he's partly to blame. And he goes, research can continue if at least one of me survives, but Supernova's approach is too different from mine. This may soon be the last of my beloved chaotic world. And you see down below, grimy street urchin going 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11. It's like, hey, bro. It's like, how come there are 11 tubes to Tefares? It goes, because it's always been 11, stupid. It's like, eat up. It's like, but 11 is such a weird number. Wouldn't 10 or 12 be better? Yeah, once there were 12. It's like, for real? It's like, when I was a little boy, there were 12 tubes, which meant there were 12 anchor factories as well. So did you evolve from a kid 500 million years ago? It's like, I'm not a trilobite. Jeff, one day something came to pass beyond the skies. 100 lightless thunderclaps echoed. Tefares trembled as if it were about to fall, and one of the tubes crashed down upon our city like an exhausted serpent. I kind of like this Nova versus Nova. Man, Nova is honestly a character. And you have, at night, countless meteors lit up the sky. It was a terrible time. We thought the world was ending. You have great grandpa with his tall tales again. It's like, it's no tall tale. Look at your feet. We crouch upon the wreckage of the ruined factory. All that is created will one day crumble. Nothing is eternal. Not even Tefares. And we see back in Robo Asil, as we have Ping Wu, my friend. I, Alanda Nam Nam, watched you sacrifice every function in your fight for another, my brave friend. I too wish to see your dream come true. And yet, you have Beep Boop. You have the robots kind of bringing up Alita's desiccated body. And you see that inside her skull, she did indeed have a brain chip. And you have the Robo-Cat entrusted with your dreams has been destroyed. As you breathe back poop, you have diagnostic report, frame and CPU not in database, repair not possible, no external damage to CPU, malfunction theorized to be software based. And you have Lambda going, look for a reset switch. It's like, Roger. You see a fash as a hologram swirps up. And you have word. It's like, our access request has been received. Be still, everybody. Every Robo 4. The god of robot kind, the great Malachi, graces us with his presence as you see an Arthur hologram making his return. So you have, no, I am but one of the 25 units which make up Malachi, an after image of an ancient man. So then you must be the past and future king, Arthur. So please hear my request and repair this robot. You see him kind of just holding his hand over Alita as he goes, bring the Fata Morgana. There's a cree and an eep as they bring the crystal to him. And he goes, I do not have the power to hold back one destined to return to dust, or the power to raise the dead. I can only call out to our fading consciousness. Fated traveler, though you wander the wasteland alone, this battle you wage is not only yours. Behold, visions of the people who have placed their trust in you. You have the strong, the weak, the humble and the noble, the living and the dead. And you see kind of an image of every single person that Alita's either run into or has history with. As you have, though the flesh may perish and the spirit fade, the molecular vibration their lives emitted will reverberate across the universe forever. Your battle is also their battle. And you have all the robots going, burp, burp, weep, brop. And you have, I have a new definition of a human being. Prove that you exist through action. Just as a primordial flame once flickered in the darkness of absolute zero, you must live once more. And you see in this dark page a Papcom. Oh, God, I hate it. One of these chapters, like one more, that's it. Chapter 63, as you have the meaning of indomitable. So you see him body having a drink with Zeka as he goes, I see, so you got rid of him. So thank you for your tenaciousness. Now you are, in fact, the most powerful in the universe. And Body's like, stop that, you creep me out. Or no, Zeka's like, stop that, you creep me out. It's not like I did it for you. We had an old score to settle. Hell of a stupid end, though, damn it all. The guy just casually cuts a bottle top off and starts drinking. And Body goes, no, you removed a major source of concern for the benefit of universal public safety. Even I'll drink to that. It takes one of the ice cubes and just starts crunching on it. And Zeka's like, cut it out! I told you I hate the sound of chewing ice. You're in way too good of a mood, you know that? And Trinidad's like, things are going so well that I don't know what to do with myself. We increased security for this tournament due to the inclusion of so many unpredictable factors, but we may get better results than expected. And he goes, it's too bad Supernova couldn't recover the Fata Morgana, but that was one of the unpredictable factors. It's no problem as long as it doesn't fall into others' hands. It was almost time for Block B's third round showdown. We filled out the required forms for you. And Zeka's like, what a pain. I sure didn't plan on answering young Toadie's call, but I did promise that brat Zex at the spur of the moment. And you have the 10th Zot Block B quarterfinals, Space Karate Forces versus Anomaly. You see, Block B is full of monsters with an average height of 12 meters. This one's the biggest monster of them all. It has devoured countless adversaries. Its origin shrouded in mystery. This is the libido beast Anomaly. Good lord. And you have versus Toji, Master of Electromagnetic Karate. Will he be able to break the jinx on Karateka, preventing them from ever getting past the third round? Will the great Karateka Zeka join the fray? You see Toji looking around going, no sign of him. Zeka might be assessing my ability. And you see, whoa, Anomaly doesn't waste any time with his libido cannon as he charges up his penis cannon and just starts firing. Good lord. And you see Toji kind of just doing a circular blocks, yeah, and with Toji, and it's Toji with an electromagnetic roundhouse block. And you see him kind of being pushed back as he leaps forward towards the Anomaly and bounces off its nose, tries to bite him. He goes, oh, it's a super electro. It's like punch down. And you see Toji just slamming into the top of the head. You have, yes, that's the fist that split a 120-story building in half. Could it be over in just one blow? Toji's like, that'll show him. And he goes, I can't waste my time here now that Zeka, my founding master's arch rival, has arrived. They say his karate goes beyond Newtonian mechanics and is on the level of the theory of relativity. I have no idea what that means, but our team is back now. So we'll take down Alita in the finals, and form the karateka paradise of our dreams. For karatekas and by karatekas, planet karate. And was Garombo's like, we're here. Who are you? And Jeff, I'm Dr. Supernova. I was like, I was like, nice to meet you. So we're on live air. He's like, I'm the one who chose to bring those angels into space. Don't you want to know what's become of Alita? It's like, yes, please, tell us. He's like, well, to tell the truth, she died. It's like, what? Like, say what? Oh my god, and you see, Nova, who escaped during his tenure at Teferi's University, long called himself professor. Supernova was given an honorary doctorate from Orbital University at Catheris. And Mystic is like, Kishiro's such a weirdo. All of those mind works. It really is amusing. And Toji's like ears is twitching as he's hearing this. He's like, can't be. Alita is dead? And you have Supernova going, can't elaborate since Mr. Embody will chastise me, but she totally died a disgraceful, blubbering death. The indomitable warrior? That's a laugh. He's like, what a load of hogwash. He's a knockoff. And you have Master Zex. It's Master Portanova. And you see, was a deck man coming in with the destroyed Portanova. And she is schwam. As it looks like the hell was it? I can't even remember what the hell this thing was called. Oh, the anomaly kind of wakes up as his jaw, one of its jaws kind of falls apart. And you see another set coming down and chomping on Toji. Yeah, whoa! Anomaly, its head crushed, is still alive. And he's regenerating. Anomaly survived the nuclear fusion bomb blast in the previous battle against Gyo Gigas as well. Is it truly an immortal? Supernova goes, Only one thing it can be. An artificial life form composed of nanomachine cells just like the Berserker body. I heard Ladder heavily restricts research on nanotechnology. So who built it? It's like, I told you take some serious damage, he's slow to react. Just, Alita. See a flash and a put as the anomaly spits out Toji. It's like, Urk is like, it can't be. As he Toji leaping forward and just undercutting it from the jaw. He goes, some things I know from experience. Alita's blade upon my body. And he's even just laying into the anomaly with a bunch of blows. You have electromagnetic thrust combo. Enough to smash a 50-meter tall robot. He kind of comes down and points. So Toji's trying to say something. Could we pick it up on mic? And Toji goes, the doctor does not appear to know the meaning of indomitable. Indomitable doesn't mean never having been broken. It denotes one who stands up even after being broken. Oh my god, I love Toji so much. And Jeff Garomwood is crying. He's like, Toji has faith that Alita lives on. And Supernova's like, yeah, that's merely wordplay. I saw the reality. And you see an anomaly regenerates once more. Oh my god. You see the penis just rising up out of the ashes. As you have anomaly absorbs the impact and turns it into heat energy, increasing surface strength and power. It's like, yeah, at this rate, the Karate Man doesn't have a shot. And Toji goes, Alita, you must be fighting a battle even now out of our sight. You may be up against a wall, and yet we will come face to face where we vowed to meet in the finals. And you see Toji just laying into it with a series of kicks. The anomaly mounts like a dog in heat in an unrelenting attack. Oh, what? God. I've heard of a dick punch, but this is ridiculous. God, the anomaly is literally using his dick like a jackhammer to just keep pounding into freaking Toji. And you have a Skosh who's just like sitting there with his legs apart. This takes like a lift for the respect between Toji and Alita. Like, honestly, it gives me so many vibes between, like, so many of the same vibes that were between Alita and God. Why is my brain blanking today? Josuka, like the same kind of vibes, and I'm just like, I can't wait until they are able to meet again. And you have oh my god, anomaly fires its libido cannon at point blank range. You have a foom and a shoom, and if Toji is thrown to the opposite side of the field by the recoil. And you have, oh my god, Nova going, I can feel his creator's exquisite hatred in every move. The mad design of the creature. Why, it's a spiteful character, a slap in the face of humankind or mankind. Pride, greed, combatability, and all of us powerless against this Freudian nightmare. Have we no choice but to accept its dictates? And you see this huge throbbing penis just coming out. It honestly looks like the head of the alien from the Alien movies with how it's designed. And you see Toadie's kind of taking a huge chunk of damage. His clothes are ripped off. He's kind of got flames everywhere. As Toji goes, if I fall here, then so will Alita. And what is it? Hooper going, when Tai and Okinawan martial art mixed with the southern Chinese form, it became karate, or Chinese hand. Taken to mainland Japan in the early 20th century, it evolved into karate-do, the way of the empty hand, to express its essence in one word, folly. You have the way, honest to a fault, to stick to your trusted path. And you see, as long as I stand, Alita will not fall. Oh, God. Chapter 64, it'll cost you. I think I'm honestly, because I don't know this. Actually, you know what? I'm going to wait until next time. This is already running towards it. Actually, you know what? No. Can't believe it, but one more chapter. Try to keep this video under an hour and a half, but can't let Toji's sacrifice go to waste. As you have, the judges have new results from an analysis of anomaly. All data seems to point to Mercurius as its planet of origin. And Trinidad's like, Mercurius, a planet of death where nothing can live. How did such place give birth? And you have Mercurius has a surface of nanomachines smooth as quicksilver, or so they say. No probe has survived contact. All are instantly disassembled, dissolved by the rarest of seas. But what if, just as a primordial soup on primitive Earth evolved complex life forms through a series of spontaneous mutations, what if a new life form took root in an ocean of nanomachines? A complex structure, intelligent to some degree, without intermediate human design. A truly inorganic life form from start to finish. To replace the biological niche of man with inorganic life. That was the dream of Dr. Vares when he converted Mercurius into gray goo. It's been 118 years since I defeated him on Pluto. Has his legacy borne fruit after all this time? And you see Trinidad kind of touching his brain, where one of the brain chips apparently belongs to Vares. Jeff, so what you're saying is there's an unknown ecosystem with an alternative type of intelligence living on Mercurius? It's like hypothesis only. But if it's true, it's a grave problem. There is an urgent need to investigate. So, but what does this thing want? Does the anomaly understand the point of the Zot? And you have Trinidad going, an alien takeover. What a quaint idea. It's inconceivable that it evolved randomly. It's clearly an imitation of the human form. It may be meant as harassment, a macabre joke, or perhaps not. Oh, what a spread. You have it eats, it mates, it butchers. A faithful translation of the principles of the libido, the most despicable side of humanity on full display. And you see this thing just swinging this giant schlong everywhere. As Trinidad goes, they, whom we can tentatively call Mercurions, might be trying to make contact, to reach out to humankind. Non-verbal communication via the Zot. They sent an ambassador called Anomaly that mimics our form and instinctual acts. But who can communicate with it? More than scientists, more than politicians, more than soldiers, more than religious leaders. And you see Toji is getting more and more damage each strike. Goes a karateka. There is no one more suited to this task. And you see, your karate annoys me, Toji. It's like, Zeka, you came. And he goes, all this talk about the way and faith, What is this, some kind of church? He goes, I'll show you. Karate is no religion. We see Karate Master Zeka has landed on the battlefield. And he's like, oh, I'm so glad to be alive. So without a moment's delay, Anomaly attacks. Is he attacking with a penis thrust? And you have a kadong. My God, and you see Zeka just kind of stops it with this bottle. It's like, what? Did he? It's like, yes, he stopped the battering ram with a beer bottle. And Zeka's like doing his best. No homo as he goes, keep that disgusting thing away from me. And you see a thump and a poop. You have to take that. It's like, oh, it's like, that's gotta hurt. And you see he spent a little explosion right down the middle of the tube. Zeka goes, see how it works, Toji? Karate is a science of destruction, a philosophy of killing. You have Toji going, martial arts has that aspect, but that was pure pragmatism in motion. And Zeka goes, your moves look flashy, but they don't work on these big guys. The thrust energy all gets dissipated in the atmosphere, losing potency before it hits the target. When we were young, we studied how to produce a supersonic punch without a shockwave, and how to produce the shockwave after impact within a foe's body. And he goes, see ya. It's like, huh? It's like, wait a second, And you see, as the anomaly comes down to smash into Toji, you see him kind of getting jammed onto this rubble. And Zeka just floating on one of those pieces, just casually grabs Toji by the head. He goes, you want to keep bugging me? And Toji's like, I'm so sorry, but if you're truly a rival equal to Starfist Tunpo, founder of electromagnetic karate, I want to see proof of your power. And Zeka starts getting angry. He's like, you seek to provoke me? Quite the daredevil. It was fine. Since you feel so strongly about it, I'll give you a lesson. But it'll cost you. It was, get ready. And he kind of slams his fist into Toji's back. You have a what? It's like, what? How? It's as if it's like my entire body is turned into light. You see Toji's kind of getting overcharged. It's like, someone here with me. It's like, who? Who is it? Can it be? It's like Master Tunpo. You see on the next one, Toji just stopped after a punch. After he's blasted through the anomaly, leaving a trail of like fire and destruction in his wake. And Toji's like, what did you do to me? It's like, anomaly smashed to bits? What the hell was that? So let's take it to replay. It's like, we thought his right arm was destroyed, but he's reached the first cosmic velocity. A right front fist to the cannon. A shockwave and intense heat are being generated within Anomaly's body. Not even an immortal monster can absorb it all. Toji demonstrates the staying power of humans. You have Zeka going, that lucky bastard. So, he didn't wind up dead. And Space Karate Force advances to the semifinals. Yeah, Chapter 65, Beyond Karate, and I really am going to cut it off there, or else I'll never be able to stop. Oh, boy, all right, I guess some quick thoughts before I kind of wrap this video and stuff up. So like I mentioned earlier, I do like, whether intentional or unintentional, this idea that Kishiro-sensei is exploring, of how kind of contrasting how men are fragile creatures, kind of break apart at the first kind of hardship they come across and face. And even though, how they kind of how that hardship basically transforms them and makes them even more brittle than they once were before, and kind of lends them this air of arrogance where they think that because they have faced these hardships, that they are the ones best suited to understanding how to prevent more of those tragedies, and how they kind of lose sight of their compassion and their humanity when they go through this kind of metamorphosis. And on the other hand, you have the women, who are going through similar or even worse hardships, kind of keep constantly evolving and growing and changing, And I think the best contrast to that we've seen so far is the difference between Cerula's kind of vampire powers, which kind of like, lets her feed on someone else, renew her energy as times change, versus Byron, whose power kind of just made him even more immutable as he became like the shell of a man, like literally became like more hardened and set in his ways. So it's kind of interesting to see how or where that concept will end up by the end of the series. That said, I also do like Zex's kind of I want to say like journey because again, while like the one between Toji and Alita kind of reminds you a bit of Joskun and Alita, I think Zex more so embodies Joskun's character and his spirit more so than a character like Toji does. Specifically because I'm thinking of, what Joskun's kind of saying, like, you have to have pride in what you do, pride to kind of being the best. And I see those kinds of that reflected more in Zex, who's kind of more determined to find out what makes a warrior as compared to Alita. Because Alita's kind of going on this journey of, I want to be the strongest, I want to be the greatest warrior because through the power I'm going to gain from that journey, I'm going to try to discover, who I am and kind of who I am, like what my purpose is. And that's a little bit more vague to me than Zex's kind of more narrowed focus on, I want to know what makes a great warrior. Like Zex has a more concrete goal in mind about what exactly he wants to achieve and what answer he's striving to find, like the answer to the question he's kind of striving to find. Whereas Alita, I still think doesn't fully know what exactly the answer she wants or is searching for is just yet, which is why she's kind of like waffling so much between, am I really human if I don't have organic parts, or can I still be a human without that? And think it's going to be interesting to see if we do get an answer to that question, like what defines a human, like what defines a person, and how do you determine if one is or not? Yeah, how one is or isn't a person. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see what answers, if any, Kishiro Sensei gives us with all these characters' journeys. But I'm interested in seeing how it's going to play out and where it's going to end up, and if we end up with any answers at all. But really, really enjoy this volume as much as I. Ah, man, Zeka is kind of like the problematic fave character archetype I like, whereas they're pure, unfiltered, toxic masculinity, where it's like, oh, I like drinks, women, guns, like power, strength, all that kind of stuff. And it's like they're really, really bad. But I really just love that archetype for some reason. Like I get super excited when we see characters like that, and that might be just because I like seeing them then get beaten down by someone who kind of disproves their philosophy. So I can't wait for Zex to kind of close the gap between them in terms of skills and just take them out because I really cannot wait to see what answer Zex kind of comes up with to the question of what the warrior is. Because I think only because this also kind of gave me vagabond vibes with kind of like the philosophical questions regarding what it takes to be a warrior. Like I really love those aspects of it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Mr. Commenter Kishiro said in a blog post that writing Zek infuriated him. I can see why. Like it's one of those characters where it's just like, there would be so many people that even like looking at Zek would be like, oh yeah, look at him, he's so aspirational. Like, yeah, such a badass. And I think Kishiro's like having a little bit of fun playing on that with how much he's like playing up with like his philosophy of like, death, destruction, power, yeah. So I'm really looking forward to seeing his ass get handed to him. I think when I first was picking up the volumes, I kind of commented that I'm looking forward to because I think Zek and a few others are on the volume 5 cover, like doing the metal instruments thing. And I think I commented back then that I was really looking forward to seeing these characters because just their designs immediately intrigued me. Like, I want to know so much more about them. So I'm glad that at least one of them has delivered so far. I'll have to go see if I can remember who the others are, if we've seen them already or not, but I'm excited to meet the rest. With that said, thank you all for joining in on the stream. I know it's been a while since I've done a Alita stream, but I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep going with Alita for the next little while. I'm not going to let it fall by the wayside again. I haven't decided yet what the schedule is going to look like. Right now, I think I'll try to get to another read through next Saturday again, because my current plan right now is to do Monsters read through tomorrow along with my typical regular One Piece stream. And after that, I'll kind of decide what I'm going to do for the next week, because it'll be the last weekend before Christmas break, which will give me some more free time. Excuse me. I stay content. There's a lot of commentary on Humanity and Mars Chronicle. Like, I eventually do want to get around to doing Mars Chronicle, but I also do want to get to some of the other series I've had on my backlog for a while now, before I dive into more Alita. Because as soon as I'm either done Alita or Lazarus, whichever one comes first, I'm still debating, because once I'm done these two, I might shift focus again to the other series I'm reading and finish those as well, so that I don't have it hanging over my head before I dive into a new one. But the one I'm definitely going to pick up after my current roster is done is Black Hammer, which I know a lot of people have been kind of asking me to pick up and are excited to kind of see me dive into that series. And what I've seen of it looks really, really intriguing, so I'm excited to dive into it. So after I'm done this current roster of series I'm doing right now, and once I don't have a backlog to worry about, I'm going to dive straight into that. So because of that, I'll probably hold off until on Mars Chronicle until I can collect all the volumes and everything like that. So with that said, again, thank you all for joining me. I'm going to again say, like, I'm 15 subs away from 150. So I'd really love to reach that number by the end of 2020 if I can. So, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you know someone else that you think would like my channel and my content, please let them know as well. And Mr. Content, thanks for the stream. It's always fun. I'm glad to deliver. It's always fun to do these streams as well. It really does kind of invigorate me whenever I've had an off or tired week. I always love doing them. I'm going to try to be more regular about doing them, but that's going to be for the next little while, at least until this pandemic stuff shakes out. It's going to be kind of touch and go. With that said, tomorrow definitely One Piece stream will happen. Usual time of around 11:30 Mountain Standard Time, 1:30 EST, and then I'll try to get around to Monstrous if I can. And with that said, this is Ash. I'll talk to you all next time.